we must always keep to the rule of relevance. The Honorable Beatrice Adagala, the Member of Parliament for the great people of Vihiga County.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this chance. And I can see he says he's my in-law here, there, laughing. He has been debating on this motion here about constitutional amendment. I want to concur with him on the CDF issue. This one should be brought to speed. CDF has done a lot, including GAF, and I was very much happy to see most of the women contributing about GAF, and even the newcomers who have not even received their this year's GAF money. For real, Mr. Speaker, this needs to be anchored in the laws, and I would support that with all my, somebody else normally says with the body organs, me I'll support with all my legs, hands, and head. And if it was something to carry, I would carry it on top of my head and say that that law should come like yesterday. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, on that, I'll support 100%. When it comes to the issue of ministers coming from this parliament, I think due to some of the rogue ministers in the last regime who used not to come here when they have been summoned by parliament to appear, that one used to show a bad example, and that is the reason why the propagation of the constitution being changed for cabinet ministers to come out from this parliament, so that if there is any urgent issue, if there is anything that is bothering Kenyans across the country, it's deliberated here in the House, and another is gotten urgently, unlike whereby a minister can be called to come and answer questions in the committees. They don't come, they want to send their permanent secretaries, the PSA. So, Mr. Speaker, that one I support strongly, I strongly support. The office, okay, this constitution came about in 2010, and a review is overdue, because we are now almost over 10 years. Mr. Speaker, I think the issue of gender, I've seen Honorable Member, Honorable Marala, talking about women issues. I want to tell Honorable Marala, he's a son of a woman who carried him 9 months. He has a sister, he has a wife, he has an aunt, he has a sister. More so sisters, because I know most of the lower families, and especially his in Kanyamukago there, he's supposed to have almost 10 wives. So he must be having almost 50 girls, daughters or so. So he has to take care of those girls and women in a very good manner. I want to tell him, but I know he calls me an in-law shemage. I know my sister will not allow that, because in where I come from, the ladies are very strict. They cannot allow their husbands to marry so many wives. So he's in for a rude shock. He may not marry them the way he thinks. And therefore, I want to ask my honorable member to respect women, and they should know that we have the third arm of this government is led by Honorable Chief Justice Martha Koome, who is a woman. And I want to say the hot air thing came at the right time, and is now being used as a vocabulary all over. I would also tell Honorable Member Marala that what he has said concerning gender is hot air. He has to know gender, when it comes to gender, it does not mean that they're all women. And I'm even encouraging, I have a lady already in his constituency whom I'm empowering properly on ANC to take over from him. And I saw you fighting with another member. I'm very sure you know, iyo imeenda. Iyo kiti, that seat is being taken by an ANC person, and not the whole of that county, Migori.
What is out
The whole of that county, Migori.
Masara?
Is it in order for Honorable Adagala to talk a language which is not parliamentary? Hiyo imeenda. I doubt if it's that language is parliamentary. And then, in my constituency, 99.9% are ODM. So I'm wondering, the issue of ANC coming. I'm not even from Muriri constituency, I'm from Sona West constituency. So she need to know that I'm from Sona West, which is not Muriri. And then, in my constituency, everybody actually is ODM. So when he's talking about ANC, maybe she has forgotten that she's in a small village party with a few members who cannot even form a quorum, Mr. Speaker. So it is very important, Honorable Adagala, when you are talking about party and you know ODM members are there, you better not mention ANC because that is a village party. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Adagala, the standing orders require that when you begin speaking in either English or Kiswahili, you continue that way up to the end.
Thank you.
But what is it you said imeenda?
That's thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll apologize. I'm telling him, you know, he's threatened because he fought the other day in a funeral, and he's fearing that ANC is taking that seat of his in Migori, plus even that Uriri. You must know that ANC...
Did you just say, Honorable Beatrice Adagala, that the Honorable Peter Masara fought in some funeral?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I saw a clip going around, he was fighting, and I know it's part of his insecurity because his seat is going.
Honorable...
And I want to assure this House...
Honorable Adagala, you know, you are required by the standing orders to substantiate some of these things. I know you are a very good friend of Honorable Masara, but don't risk. If you are not very sure, you withdraw. And then we will accord you time to continue your useful contributions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. This is, it was on a light notice, my brother-in-law. I think I can withdraw, but he should not that ANC is one of the biggest parties in this country.
Honorable Adagala, you know how it is done. You are a very old and competent member of the House. When you withdraw unequivocally. You don't say you may withdraw. So
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Could you withdraw that part? And then we continue to the substance of the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I withdraw and apologize. Masara.
Thank you, proceed.
Honorable Masara. And he should stop talking about ANC. He should know ANC is a very big party that is part of the forming of this Kenyan government, Kenya Kwanza government. We are the government. Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now I want to speak on, he actually brought in a lot of disorder. I want to tell him, when it comes to gender issues, don't assume that is only involving women. I've seen everybody's things, when we are talking about gender, the gender agenda is all about women. And that's why I was telling Masara, I'm trying to groom somebody who will take over from him in his constituency, because men are thinking that issues of gender is all about women. 2027, most of the constituencies, Senate seats will be occupied and governors will be occupied by women. And therefore, you are the team, the gender male are the ones who will be at a disadvantage. Mr. Speaker, I therefore ask the honorable members in this House and Honorable Masala included, to think of passing the gender bill. Mr. Speaker, and this is a serious issue which has to be looked into. I do ask the House to look into this matter and see that the that bill is passed. About the office of the opposition, leader of opposition, I want to tell the members who are saying that it's meant for one person, that office is not meant for one person. We can even have Wajakoya as the leader of opposition. So let us not look at it. It is being formed because of our return.
I will add you 2 minutes, and I'll warn you against going contrary to Standing Order number 87.
Yes.
Which prohibits you from discussing any leader without a substantive motion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for giving me another extra 1 minute. I want to say thank you for that. Mr. Speaker, actually, this office being established, it does not spell it belongs to so and so. This office, it will be a constitutional office which will be held by an opposition leader. And the government also needs to be checked. Now, if all of us, we are in government, who will check on us, the government? That's why I feel very good seeing Masala there. Masala has to check this government to see food is available, to see the health issues that are on, to see everything is working. So let us not just want to think that we can all be in one party and all be there. That office, I support Mr. Speaker for the establishment of the office of the opposition leader. And on that note, I support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you very much, Honorable.